And we're back with another movie review, and this time we're talking about the true Spider-Man. The only Spider-Man that actually really matters. I'm kidding, of course, but this is Spider-Man Across the Universe. Now, for me, as somebody who's really into the character Miles Morales, I really enjoyed the first film in this franchise, Into the Spider-Verse. It was the first time we get to see Miles Morales on the big screen, and his character, his version of Spider-Man, is something that I think a lot of people were... There was a lot of hate in the beginning when this character first came out. You know, people thought they were replacing Peter Parker as Spider-Man. But as the days gone on, as the weeks went on, as the years went on, we got to know this character as well as different Spider people across the universe. And what's unique about Spider-Man and his story and Peter Parker is it's not universal. You know, you would say it's intergalactical. And while every Spider person has like a similar story or a similar point in their adventure in their lives where it's kind of similar to everybody else, but what's good about the story of Spider-Man is that you can change little aspects of it to make it cater to a certain specific type of person, to make that story of Spider-Man relatable to them. Now, I grew up liking Spider-Man. I grew up loving Spider-Man. I grew up on the 1990s animated show, and I loved that. Watch it on Fox Kids all the time. Up to when they went to Ultimate Spider-Man, I even like that mess of the show. The story is really what got me into Spider-Man. It's just a very relatable story, even at a young age for me, as a person that just trying to make it in this really tough world, this real world, but he has a secret and he has an obligation that he just wants to do better for his uncle and just for the people around him. But he can't really express himself and can't really share who he really is with everybody around him. And like I said, I think that story is very relatable and powerful to not just, certain aspect or group of people, but to a broad scope. And having Miles Morales as, a person that kind of looks like somebody like me and other people around the world, and you just add that little bit of relatability for other people, more people, and you just get a really good character. And one of, if not the best Spider-Man stories that we have ever told in this film. Now, going into this, there was a lot of hype, a lot of expectations coming into this film, whether or not it was going to live up to the first film, because that first film set the bar pretty high. And now we come into this, we saw all the expectations of a whole bunch of Spider people across the universe. Miles Morales is back, Gwen Stacy is back, Peter Parker original OG is back. He has a kid now, and now we bring in a new Spider-Man, Miguel, Spider-Man 2999, I think that's what it is. But does it live up to it? Does it live up to the hype? And I'm here to tell you guys, this is like the best movie of the year. And I know I might be biased because I just told you my lineage, my history with Spider-Man. But even taking that out, trying to take my biases out of it, I'm just looking at this film. Is there flaws? Yes, of course there's some flaws in this film. Not every film's perfect. But I think as a whole, as a form of storytelling, where it has progressed from the sequel, character development, further developing of characters that were already established from the first film, introducing new characters, setting up a broader story. I think this is going to be one of the best trilogies, not just Spider-Man trilogies, but just film trilogies in general. This is going to be something special, and where this movie left off, I just need the next film to come out right now. But let's get into it. What I liked, what I didn't like about this film, and of course we're always going to start off with the good stuff, and just the animation. They changed the animation slightly from what they did in the first film, and this one's a little bit more comic booky. You can kind of see like a sketch. It looks sketchy. Looks like when somebody's drawing a sketch of of a template for a comic book, then you can still see the stray lines of all the drawings that they did. They do that in this film, and at some points I think that it's really well done. It's really artsy and everything, but at other points I was this is kind of annoying. But for the most part, I did enjoy the animation, and that is just one aspect of the animation that they do in here. There's a different types of animation because we're traveling to different universes. You know, there's like a Lego universe with Lego Spider-Man. There's like a black and white universe, you know, with Noir Spider-Man. And then there's like a anime style one with like anime girl, Spider Girl, and all this stuff. And there's this whole bunch of different Spider people and Spider universes, and different animation comes with that. And I really like that aspect, you know, it just showed their added on uniqueness with the Spider people. The other thing I really liked about the story is what I talked about briefly in the beginning, is the story that we're getting with this Spider-Man. And wow, I can't really express that much how much this story is progressing, how dark it is getting, how mature it is getting. You know, there's been a lot of debate lately, especially with the Mario movie that came out recently, is, you know, animated movies are for kids. You know, this was a good kids movie. It's not for adults, but it's a kids movie. And I really don't like this, you know, notion that just because it's an animated film, it's for kids. I mean, you take anime for an example. That's an animation. A lot of the anime that I watched when I was growing up was pretty mature and had mature themes. And not just anime, just cartoons in general. I remember watching Batman Beyond, a kid's cartoon. There was a lot of, you know, adult themes in that show. Drug addiction, you know, suicidal thoughts, you know, mental health, all that stuff was in Batman Beyond. And so we're going into this, you know, new era of animation. The people that grew up watching, you know, the cartoons when I was a kid are now making films, you know, contributing to stuff like the new Spider-Man film. And I think we just got to get away from this whole, just because it's a cartoon doesn't mean that it's just for kids. You know, this one really proves it, that you can still have like a fun thing that is targeted towards kids. And yes, it's animated, but you can still have a story, an impactful story, an important story, a fun story in these type of films. And again, I can't give more props to the people that are making this story. It's going in a direction that I'm really liking. And it's not like, you know, one of those happy endings, you know, okay, you know, the ending was happy, you know, we move on, we go on to the next thing, and it's going to be another happy ending. That's not what's happening here. It's going to be really like more impactful and more realistic, if you can really think that, people swinging around with, you know, webbing and everything. But it's grounding the film in a little bit more of realism than I would think that they were going to go with this type of story. And I'm really excited. I'm really surprised. We'll get to what my thoughts about the cliffhanger ending at the end, but wow, I'm really happy with this. Also, shout out to the voice acting. Again, stellar voice acting cast. They added on another all-star cast. You know, got Issa Rae, got Oscar Isaac, and just to name a few of the new additions that they have on here. And then of course returning people coming in, and they're just like, they feel like it's elevated in this one. You know, all the characters get more development and more opportunity to really like push the boundaries of their characters in this one. And there's a chase scene that you've seen in the trailers, you know, snippets of, you know, all the Spider people chasing Miles Morales. And that sequence in the movie towards the third act is probably some of the most impressive animation, the most impressive storytelling, with just little dialogue, just expressions of the character's face. You know, usually when you talk about expressions, you talk about like, you know, live action films with the characters and actors doing the expressions, but they're doing the expressions with people's faces in animation. And, you know, of course, with everything else, you know, you got the animation, you got some of the little lines that they're talking with, and then you have the score of the music in the film. Everything comes together to make that whole sequence, a chase sequence, and the final confrontation between Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2999. I'm just gonna say that, Spider-Man in the future. So much more powerful, and I thought that it was like masterful played in that scene. And man, it's so good. It's so good. We're also introduced to a new character, a new villain called the Spot. And at first, the trailers kind of make you believe that he's just a throwaway character. You know, he's just a character of the month, character of the week. And in fact, they kind of poke fun at that. But this guy, the Spot, has a turn of events in this film that is unexpected, surprising, and really, really, really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a movie do it like that, a comic book movie do it like that, an animated movie do it like that, just a movie in general do something that they did with this character. Wow. I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to see the next film because stuff is going to go down. I'm really interested where they're going to go with this film. And as somebody who has read the original run of Miles Morales when he was first introduced to the world and his story, they've changed it a lot. But there's a certain aspect that they did change. I'm not going to spoil it, from the comic book, the original run of Miles Morales' comic book to this movie. And it looks like it's coming full circle. You know, they kind of explain why that is the way that it is. And the way that they explained it, at first I thought it was a little confusing, but they keep on talking about it and keep on explaining it throughout the film. And it comes like, you know, slowly comes to you and it's like, oh, okay, it's coming together. It makes sense why everything is connected and why they might have done, you know, changed things from the comic book to the movie. And I thought that was really fascinating because the whole time I was watching, I was like, oh, that one, that's from the comic. And even, you know, Spider-Gwen's comic, I read the original run of that one. And in that comic, they changed a lot of stuff from the movie as well. And I was really interested to see how they were going to, you know, come full circle, or if they were going to come full circle with that. And they do in this film. And it's really, again, another important, you know, powerful scene that they do with Gwen Stacy and her origin story that is just so amazing. And again, say it again, I can't wait for the third film. I just want it to come out already. Now, as far as the bad stuff, there isn't that much that I felt that was a negative with the film. There was a little bit of a pacing, you know, issue towards the beginning of the film. Kind of takes a while to get to where it wants to go. You know, there's a lot of storytelling. This is a long movie. This is like a 2-hour and something movie. And they want to pack a lot of stuff in it. And I'm really grateful for the amount of stuff that we got in this film. I wanted more. I wanted the movie to continue. If it was like a 3-hour film, I would have been happy. But, you know, it does feel a little dragged on a little bit towards the beginning of the film. And you're kind of just sitting there like, okay, you know, when are things going to happen? When are characters going to meet each other again? It kind of takes its time getting there. And again, that can be, you know, intentional. It probably was intentional, but I can see some people and even myself were kind of like, you know, at points are just kind of like waiting and sitting, waiting for something to happen. And now let's talk about that ending cliffhanger that they left us. My theater erupted. My theater was full of young children, and there was like a line I can't, like I'm gonna paraphrase a little because I don't exactly remember what the kid said because I was laughing the whole time. But the kid said something along the lines of like, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. When the movie ended on that cliffhanger, the kid was screaming and it was like yelling the whole time while people were leaving the theater. And that kid wasn't the only one. There was other kids that was like, are you serious? Are you serious? Come on. I want to see more. And I love to see it, man. I love to see that these kids, these young kids, are invested in this story and they want to see more. This story, you know, gets people excited. It's such a good story. It's such a, oh man, such a good story. I love what they're doing with Miles Morales. I'm kind of afraid if they do go this route that I've been hearing, you know, hearing some rumors that there's going to be a live action version of Miles Morales. I'm kind of I'm a little scared that the mystique and the allure of Miles Morales, the character, is going to get diluted in the live actions, because as much as I love the live action versions of Spider-Man, I love, you know, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland Spider-Man, all for different reasons. I think it's fair to say that the Tom Holland Spider-Man, the version that we've got, he hasn't really had the Spider-Man story that we want as Spider-Man fans. And while I love those movies that he's in, you know, No Way Home was a masterpiece, like a nostalgic wet dream for Spider-Man fans. And this film in particular could also be called that too, because there's a lot of callbacks for a lot of different Spider people, a lot of Easter eggs. But, you know, when it's translated into live action, these Spider-Man films, you kind of get nervous. And especially with Miles Morales, this character has been done so well, from the video games to the comic books to the animated screen. just hope that they can hit the ball out of the park with the live action version if it does come. But guys, let me know what you think of this movie in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys have been killing it lately. Thank you so much for the support. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers and can't thank you guys enough. I can't believe we're almost at this point. I can't believe I'm at 1,000 subscribers, let alone almost to 2,000. So thank you so much for that, guys. So let me know in the comments down below. Did you like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Are you ready for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse? I can't wait, dude. Just release it already. But guys, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep watching movies.